my shoes are worn, the knees of my jeans are torn. Sweat coming through.
Welcome to the fourth episode of the Field Report. My name is James Hillegas. So today's episode, I kind of wanted to go over 3D printing, and I thought I'd do this episode with a gorgeous view overlooking downtown Akron in a lovely, snowy, cold January. But I really wanted to go over 3D printing in particular. So obviously there's a lot of, I don't want to say hype, but there's a lot of excitement around 3D printing. There's a lot of promise. And one of the biggest promises in particular is 3D printing with concrete, and primarily 3D printing structures with concrete. And this was part of my graduate school and thesis work, and I obviously am pretty excited about it and am very bullish about it. But in the midst of this whole notion that we're going to have the replicator or be able to 3D print full-on structures without formwork and all of that stuff, I think we're missing one of the biggest immediate and current benefits of 3D printing. And I think that goes for a lot of technologies in general. You can abstract this conversation into AI. Just doing simple analysis on past data within the company to help you predict the outcomes of future projects, and just simple things of that nature. How is this subcontractor going to perform, or how is this job going to perform, or is our budget or estimate in line with projects of similar, in similar regions, of similar types, residential or commercial, industrial, like water, transportation, things of that nature, and in a typical size, this many square feet or this many miles of road or whatever the case might be. I think there's a lot of immediate opportunities with technology that companies and entrepreneurs or whatever are missing, because everyone is looking for the home run. We're going to 3D print a building, we're going to get 10,000 PSI concrete, it's going to have no rebar, and we're going to have no formwork. While I am not pessimistic that won't happen, I'm also realistic in that's not going to happen today. And if it is, it's definitely not going to be any code, and you're going to have a lot of people being very skeptic, and rightfully so. So with that, I wanted to talk about some of the more immediate things that 3D printing can do. And one of those in particular is addressing long lead items. Right here I got a nice set of shop drawings, and one of the problems that you have with shop drawings in general is making sure everybody's working from the same page. Obviously this is one drawing of many that are scattered around on this 300,000 some odd square foot building. And that's a huge concern. And on this project in particular, I obviously don't want to name contractors because I'm going to get yelled at for that, but on this project in particular, we had some discrepancies on some shop drawings for this piece right here, this stool trim piece that goes to the curtain wall. And there was a lot of concern regarding some dimensions. And the concern is rightfully so. I'm standing in front of one punched window opening of several tens of windows. And there'd be a lot of concern if things were, drywall was hung wrong or taped, it was already taped and finished and that's all wrong. There could be a lot of extra or not enough taping going on depending on whose dimensions we were working from. And unfortunately, due to some of the changes that took place and what the right answer was, there was a long lead time to cut a new die. Now, I tried to mention to that contractor that we could 3D print a new die. They weren't quite believing me of that. But one of the things that I could do that I had control over was you can take shop drawings and you can 3D print parts of them. So what I had them do is I had the contractor send me the CAD file for the part. And what we were able to do is we were able to pull that into regular AutoCAD, just regular AutoCAD. In the upper ribbons, turn that from the typical drafting and annotation view into the 3D modeling view and simply extrude the part. Nothing very crazy, just simply extrude the 2D outline of the part into a three-dimensional object. From there, we were able to save that as an STL file. And with that STL file, the part was bigger than the printer I personally owned. And there are many 3D printing houses that you can use, and there are many websites that help you find these type of people, like 3D Hubs, and if you just Google it, 3D printing services, you can find many of them. Here in Ohio, obviously, we're big in the aerospace industry, so there's many 3D printing shops or services around that will 3D print stuff for you. They have printers, obviously, that are a lot larger than some of the consumer or prosumer type of printers, and we were able to 3D print the part. Now, I'll show a picture of the part, and I will walk around the job site to see if I can find it. I really don't know if I'm going to be able to find it on these 337,000 square feet. But what we're able to do with that part is we're able to give the guys in the field, the carpenters in the field, the tapers in the field, something to work off of, something to make sure that their work is correct, because nobody likes being told their work is wrong, and nobody likes redoing work when it could have been easily prevented. And I think that's one of the more immediate benefits of 3D printing, is being able to print templates or shapes or forms, or print some long lead items to give some representative shape. Now obviously, some long lead items like mechanical equipment, we're not going to be 3D printing mechanical equipment, and that's where other technology like AR might come in. But for stuff like this, a simple trim piece here and there, or things of that nature, smaller architectural type finishes, I think 3D printing is a great intermediate filler of a need when shop drawings, there's misrepresented information. And even on, even BIM models can't achieve this, or neither can, even if you had your shop drawings on your phone. I mean, I have PlaneGrid and I have shop drawings on here, but if there's different information and people all have different versions of something, then 3D printing offers a way to see kind of what's right and what works. And just because you drew your trim piece in the 3D model, it doesn't mean that other pieces of information also reflect that model, or even that what's in the field exactly reflects that model. But saying that what you drew in the model, let's say it was 6 3/4 of an inch, you can then 3D print that for a fit up to make sure it's actually going to work before you go and fabricate a whole bunch of things. I think the aerospace industry has really gotten us down with the idea of prototyping, and we do a lot of field measuring here. But we could probably look at what are the opportunities with 3D printing in lieu of field measuring, or a complement to field measuring. I think this is just one step closer to obviously 3D printing concrete structures, and we'll definitely get there someday. But I think 3D printing in this form for prototyping or helping confirm fit up is a great intermediate step. And there are some other things that 3D printing can do that I'll definitely touch on in a later episode. As always, if you guys have any questions regarding this episode or 3D printing in general or anything of that nature, happily leave a comment and I'll leave you my email. Happily answer any questions, and look forward to seeing you guys on episode 5 of the Field Report.